I was wiping down the dispenser in Station 7's cafeteria when the Scorithlian warship docked. The whole structure shuddered, which meant someone had come in too fast and clipped the docking clamps again. Third time this month. I'd have to check those bolts before my shift ended. The cafeteria was empty, except for me. It was 14:30, that dead zone between lunch and dinner when nobody wanted reconstituted protein paste, regardless of what flavor packet they added. I'd just finished mopping the floors, and the whole place smelled like industrial cleaner and recycled air. Through the observation windows, I could see the ship, massive, dark, covered in what looked like organic plating. Expensive. I pulled my sandwich from my toolkit, turkey and cheese, slightly compressed from sitting next to my wrench, and took a bite. The airlock alarm started blaring. Someone was coming through without clearance codes. That meant Georgia would have to deal with it, which meant she'd handle it wrong, which meant more work for me later. The cafeteria doors opened. Commander Aurelix entered first. He was 7 feet of segmented black chitin, with a bronze metallic sheen that caught the fluorescent lights. 2 large compound eyes, iridescent gold, swept across the empty room. His face was angular, made of chitinous plates that shifted slightly as he moved. Small mandibles clicked together beneath those eyes, and 2 antennae, thin, segmented, currently standing straight up, twitched as he scanned the space. He wore what looked like military regalia across his thorax, medals and insignias I didn't recognize. His 2 arms hung at his sides, hands, or whatever Scorithlians called them, clenched. A thin, segmented tail dragged slightly behind him as he walked on 2 legs, each step deliberate. Behind him came Georgia, our station administrator. She was 32, blonde, perpetually optimistic, and holding her tablet like it contained the secrets of the universe, instead of last quarter's efficiency reports. "Spencer," she called out, too loud for the empty room. "We have a distinguished visitor. This is Commander Aurelix of the Scorithlian Armada." I swallowed my bite of sandwich. "Okay." Commander Aurelix's antennae twitched. He moved forward, both arms spreading wide in what I assumed was supposed to be an impressive gesture. His mandibles clicked 3 times, rapid fire, and when he spoke, his voice had a resonant quality that made the plastic tables vibrate. "Human," he said. "I am Commander Aurelix, strategic overseer of the Scorithlian Third Fleet. I have come to deliver terms of your surrender." I looked at Georgia. She was smiling, which meant she hadn't processed what he'd just said. "Isn't this exciting?" she said. "Our first official diplomatic contact with the Scorithlian people. I've prepared a whole cultural exchange itinerary." "He just said surrender," I said. "Cultural exchange," Georgia repeated, tapping her tablet. "I've scheduled tours, meal programs, and I thought we could do a presentation on human history. Commander Aurelix, you're going to love our recreation facilities." The commander's antennae flattened slightly against his head. His mandibles clicked again, faster now. "You misunderstand. I am not here for—" "We have a gymnasium," Georgia continued, "and a library. Well, it's mostly technical manuals, but still, very educational." I took another bite of my sandwich and leaned against the dispenser. Aurelix's compound eyes fixed on me. All that gold iridescence focused like I was the only thing in the room. "You," he said, both arms extending toward me. "You will listen. The Scorithlian Armada has conquered 47 star systems. We have reduced civilizations to ash. We have shattered worlds that refuse to submit. Your species will surrender, or you will join the countless others who made the mistake of defiance." I chewed, swallowed. "You clipped our docking clamps coming in." His antennae went rigid. "What?" "The clamps. Bay 3. You came in too fast and hit them." I gestured toward the windows with my sandwich. "I'm going to have to recalibrate the whole system. That's at least 2 hours of work." Commander Aurelix moved closer. Each step was heavy, deliberate. His segmented tail scraped across the floor I'd just mopped, leaving a faint trail. His chitinous plates shifted, catching the light. Up close, I could see the way his mandibles moved constantly, Small adjustments, clicking softly. His antennae tilted forward, almost touching me. "I have personally overseen the destruction of species more advanced than yours," he said. His voice dropped lower, that resonant quality becoming almost subsonic. "I have watched their leaders beg. I have seen their finest warriors broken. I have turned prosperous worlds into graveyards. And you speak to me of clamps." "Yeah," I said. "They're rated for controlled docking, not ramming." His antennae started twitching. Not the confident movement from before this was rapid, irregular. His mandibles clicked in a staccato pattern. Georgia stepped between us, tablet raised. "I think what Spencer means is that we're very happy to accommodate your vessel's maintenance needs. We have excellent repair facilities. I can schedule—" "I do not require repairs," Aurelix said. His voice had an edge now. Both arms gestured sharply. "I require your unconditional surrender. The Scorithlian Armada will claim this station, this system, and every human settlement within 12 sectors. You have one rotation to comply, or we will demonstrate the consequences of resistance." I wadded up my sandwich wrapper and tossed it into the recycling chute. "Can't surrender, don't have authority for that." His antennae flattened completely against his head. "What? I'm a janitor," I said. "Georgia here is station admin, but she only handles local operations. You'd need to talk to Sector Command. That's about 6 days away by conventional drive." His mandibles clicked rapidly. "Then I will wait, and when your Sector Command arrives, they will witness what happens to stations that waste my time." "They're not coming here," I said. "You'd have to go there, or use the communication relay. But there's a queue. Usually takes about 3 days to get through." For a long moment, Commander Aurelix just stood there. His compound eyes seemed to fracture the light into 1,000 tiny reflections. His antennae were doing something complicated, twitching, flattening, rising slightly, then flattening again. The mandibles had stopped clicking. He stopped, started again. "Do you understand what I am telling you? I am offering you the chance to avoid annihilation. I am giving you the opportunity to preserve your lives through submission. This is not a negotiation. This is mercy." "Sure," I said. "But I still can't surrender. Wrong pay grade." Georgia brightened. "Oh, but we can definitely get you in touch with the right people. I'll send a priority message right now." She tapped her tablet. "Let's see. Request form. Nature of inquiry. I'll put diplomatic meeting. That should move it up the queue." "Priority message," Aurelix repeated. His voice had gone flat. "Should hear back in 72 hours, Georgia said. "Maybe 48, if we're lucky." The commander's antennae shot straight up. His mandibles opened and closed 3 times. Both arms rose, hands 3 fingers each, I noticed, with chitinous segments clenched into what were definitely fists. "I have destroyed civilizations," he said. Each word was carefully separated, like he was explaining something to a child. "I have burned atmospheric processors. I have collapsed orbital platforms. I have reduced cities to craters, and you want me to wait for a message response? Unless you want to fly to Sector Command yourself," I said. "But that's 6 days, like I mentioned, plus whatever time you spend waiting for a meeting. Bureaucracy's pretty backed up this quarter." His chitin plates shifted. The bronze sheen seemed to dull slightly. His tail swept across the floor in a sharp arc, and I made a mental note to remop this section. "Unacceptable," he said. "I will make an example of this station. Your Sector Command will see the wreckage and understand the price of making me wait." "You'll still have to file an incident report," Georgia said. "That's 17 pages, plus an environmental impact assessment if you're planning any major structural damage." The antennae twitching intensified. "Environmental impact. It's protocol," Georgia said. "We're very serious about protocol here." I checked my watch. "I'm on break in 20 minutes. Need to finish the maintenance corridors before then." Commander Aurelix turned his entire body toward me. Those compound eyes seemed to focus and unfocus. "You are on break. Your species faces extinction, and you are concerned with maintenance corridors. They don't clean themselves, I said. His mandibles clicked so fast they became a continuous rattle. Both arms spread wide again, but this time the gesture seemed less commanding and more like he was trying to physically grasp the situation. His antennae were nearly flat against his head. "What is wrong with you?" he said. "Nothing," I said. "Just need to finish my shift." Georgia's tablet chimed. She glanced at it and frowned. "Oh, Spencer, that reminds me. We've got a problem with the water reclamation system, 3rd time this week. Can you look at it after your break?" "Sure," I said. "This is—" Aurelix stopped. His mandibles closed, opened, closed again. The antennae did another complicated sequence of movements. "This is not how this proceeds. Species beg for mercy. They attempt negotiation. They marshal their defenses. They do not discuss water reclamation." "Well, it needs to be fixed," I said, "unless you want the recycling backup. Trust me, you don't want that." He moved closer again. I could hear the faint scraping of his chitin plates against each other, the soft clicking of his mandibles. His 2 arms were trembling slightly. "I could kill you where you stand," he said quietly. "Both hands. 3 seconds. "Okay," I said. His antennae shot up, then flat, then up again. "Okay, that is your response?" "I mean, don't," I said. "But I can't stop you. You're 7 feet tall and made of armor plating. I clean floors." The mandibles stopped moving entirely. His antennae were doing something I hadn't seen yet, vibrating rapidly while staying mostly horizontal. His tail had gone completely still. Georgia looked up from her tablet. "Oh, Commander Aurelix, I just remembered. We're supposed to offer refreshments to all diplomatic visitors. Would you like anything from the dispenser? We have 17 flavors of protein paste." "Protein paste," he repeated. "The chicken style is pretty good," I offered. "Beef's been weird since they changed suppliers." Commander Aurelix's compound eyes seemed to lose focus. His antennae drooped until they were nearly touching his chitinous shoulders. Both arms fell to his sides. For several seconds, he just stood there, this massive, armored figure in full military regalia, surrounded by empty plastic tables and fluorescent lights, and the faint smell of cleaning solution. Then his mandibles clicked once, twice, and he spoke very quietly. "I have ended civilizations." "Right," I said. "You mentioned that. Species that had weapons capable of cracking planets. Warriors bred for combat. Defense systems that took centuries to develop." His antennae twitched. "They all fell before the Scorithlian armada. All of them understood what it meant when I arrived. All of them recognized the gravity of that moment." "Sure," I said. "And you," his mandibles clicked, "you speak of clamps and maintenance corridors and protein paste." "I mean, those are real problems," I said. He turned away, walked 3 steps toward the windows. His tail dragged behind him, and I definitely needed to remop. He stood there, backlit by the stars and the dark shape of his warship, this imposing figure of conquest and military might. "This is wrong," he said. "This entire interaction is wrong." Georgia came up beside him. "I think we're just having some cross-cultural confusion. Very normal for first contacts. I have a whole handbook on this. Would you like me to?" "No," he said. His antennae were completely flat. "No handbooks." I picked up my mop bucket. The wheels squeaked as I rolled it toward the corridor. "I need to finish my rounds. Georgia can get you set up with quarters if you're staying, or there are forms for temporary docking if you're leaving." Commander Aurelix turned. His compound eyes found me across the cafeteria. "I am not leaving, and I am not filling out forms. I am going to remain here until you understand the severity of your situation." "Okay," I said. "Cafeteria closes at 22 for cleaning. You'll have to relocate then." His mandibles opened. No sound came out. Just opened and stayed that way for 3 full seconds before closing again. I pushed the mop bucket through the doors. Behind me, I heard Georgia asking if he wanted the station tour now or after he'd settled in. His response was a clicking sound that might have been language or might have been the Scorithlian equivalent of someone's brain short-circuiting. The maintenance corridor was quiet. Flickering lights, exposed pipes, the steady hum of life support systems. I'd mopped half the section when I heard footsteps, 2 legs, heavy behind me. Commander Aurelix stood at the corridor entrance. His antennae were upright again, but twitching. Both arms were crossed over his thorax. "You are genuinely going to continue working," he said. "Yeah," I said. "Shift doesn't end for 3 hours." He watched me mop for a full minute. I could feel those compound eyes tracking every movement. Then he spoke, and his voice had changed, less resonant, more bewildered. "What would it take," he said slowly, "for you to acknowledge that your life is in danger?" I squeezed out the mop. "I mean, I acknowledge it. Station life's dangerous. Decompression risks, reactor leaks, supply chain problems. It's all in the safety manual." "I am not talking about station safety," he said. His mandibles clicked. "I am talking about me, about my fleet, about the fact that I could reduce this entire structure to debris." "Sure," I said. "Sure," he repeated. His antennae flattened. "That is your response. Sure. What do you want me to say?" I moved the mop bucket forward. The wheels squeaked again. One of them was developing a wobble. Commander Aurelix's tail swept across the floor. Fear, anger, defiance, something. Anything other than, he gestured at me with both arms. This is just how I am," I said. His antennae did that vibrating thing again. He took 3 steps forward, and I noticed his wing casings, small, vestigial things on his back, were partially extended. Some kind of stress response, probably. "I need you to understand," he said, and now his voice had an edge that made the pipes hum. "I am not bluffing. I am not posturing. I have the firepower to sterilize this station. I have done it before. I will do it again, if necessary." I looked up from mopping. "Why, though?" His mandibles stopped mid-click. "What? Why would you sterilize the station? What do you get out of that?" For a moment, he just stared at me. Then, his antennae went through what I was starting to recognize as confusion. Up, flat, twitching, up again. "Strategic dominance," he said. "Territory, resources. The demonstration of power that ensures compliance from other systems." "Okay, but this station doesn't have much," I said. "We're a waypoint. Some fuel processing, some supplies, communication relay. You blow it up, you've just got debris. Still need to deal with sector command, but now they're hostile and you don't have a staging area." His compound eyes seemed to fracture the corridor's dim light into 100 tiny reflections. His tail had gone completely still. "Are you?" He stopped. His mandibles opened and closed. "Are you strategically analyzing my invasion?" "I'm just saying it doesn't make much sense," I said. "You want to conquer the sector, you'd need the infrastructure. Destroying it is counterproductive." Commander Aurelix made a sound I hadn't heard before, a high-pitched chittering that came from somewhere in his thorax. His antennae were vibrating so fast they were blurring. Both arms rose and fell twice. "This is not, you are not supposed to." He stopped. Started again. "The fear of destruction ensures compliance. That is the strategic value." "But we're not compliant," I said. "We're just confused about what you want." His wing casings extended fully. The chittering sound intensified, and then, very quietly, he said, "I want you to be afraid." I wrung out the mop again. "Why?" "Because," his antennae flattened, "because that is how this works. That is how it has always worked. I arrive. Species recognize the threat. They respond with fear, with preparation for war, with desperate negotiations. And through that fear, I establish dominance." "Sounds stressful," I said. His mandibles clicked once, twice, then stopped. His entire body seemed to freeze, and when he spoke, his voice was barely audible over the hum of the life support systems. "What did you just say?" I said, "It sounds stressful. All that fear and dominance and conquest seems like a lot." Commander Aurelix stood there. this 7-foot armored figure in the middle of a maintenance corridor, surrounded by exposed pipes and flickering lights. His antennae were doing something I definitely hadn't seen before, slowly drooping forward until they hung in front of his face. His mandibles had gone slack. And then my mop bucket's bad wheel gave out entirely, the whole thing tipped over, and 3 gallons of dirty cleaning solution spilled across the floor, directly onto the commander's feet. His antennae shot straight up. His mandibles clicked so rapidly, they became a continuous buzz. And somewhere in the distance, an alarm started blaring, not an airlock alarm this time, but something deeper, more urgent. George's voice came over the station intercom. "Spencer? We've got a problem. The commander's ship just activated its weapons systems." The cleaning solution was spreading across the corridor floor, seeping toward the wall panels. Commander Aurelix stood in the middle of it, his segmented feet submerged in dirty water, his antennae rigid and trembling. "Your ship's weapons?" I said. "That's locked onto the station?" His mandibles clicked twice. "Automated defense protocol. When the commander's biosigns indicate distress, the ship interprets it as an attack." "Are you distressed?" I asked. His antennae twitched. "I am standing in your cleaning water." "Right." I looked at the tipped bucket, then at the spreading puddle, then at the wall panels. "We need to stop that liquid before it reaches the electrical systems." "My ship is preparing to fire on this station," Aurelix said. "And you are concerned with electrical systems? If the solution hits those panels, it'll short out life support for this whole section," I said. "We've got about 90 seconds. I grabbed the emergency absorption packs from my cart standard equipment for spills near sensitive systems, tore open 3 of them, and scattered the powder across the spreading water. It started solidifying immediately, the chemical reaction turning the liquid into a gel. Commander Aurelix watched me work. His compound eyes tracked every movement. "You are not evacuating. Takes longer to evacuate than to fix this," I said. I threw down 2 more packs, forming a barrier between the water and the wall. "Can you call off your ship?" His antennae drooped slightly. "Yes, but..." "Then do that," I said. He stood there for 3 seconds. Then both arms rose to his chest, fingers pressing against some kind of communication device built into his regalia. He spoke in his own language, a series of clicks and resonant tones that made the remaining water vibrate. The alarm cut off. George's voice came back over the intercom. "Oh, good. The weapons just powered down. Crisis averted. Spencer, I'm bringing the commander's security officer to meet him." They seemed very worried. "No," Aurelix started, but the intercom had already clicked off. I finished spreading the absorption powder. The gel was hardening now, easy to scrape up once it fully set. The wall panels were safe. I stood and looked at the commander. His feet were still in the solidified gel. "You're stuck," I said. His antennae flattened completely. "What?" "The gel. It's hardening around your feet. Don't move or you'll damage your leg segments." For a moment, Commander Aurelix just stood there, arms at his sides, antennae flat, mandibles slack. Then he spoke very quietly. "This is the worst invasion I have ever conducted." "Doesn't seem like you're actually invading," I said. "Mostly you're just standing in places." His mandibles clicked. "I have delivered an ultimatum. I have demonstrated military superiority. I have activated weapons systems. By every strategic definition, this is an invasion." "But you haven't actually done anything," I said. I grabbed a scraper from my cart. "Hold still. I need to get this gel off before it fully cures." "I am a commander of the Scorithlian Armada," he said. His voice had gone flat again. "I do not get rescued from cleaning solution by janitors." "You want to stay stuck?" I asked. His antennae twitched. After a moment, he said, "Proceed." I knelt down and started scraping the gel away from his feet. Up close, I could see the detail in his chitin overlapping segments, each one slightly different in color, the bronze sheen concentrated at the edges. His tail moved slightly, an involuntary adjustment. "This is humiliating," he said. "It's just gel," I said. "I have commanded fleets, I have accepted the surrender of planetary governments. I have negotiated treaties that reshaped sectors. His antennae drooped forward. And now I am trapped in floor cleaner. I scraped away the last section. You're free. He lifted one foot, then the other, testing. His antennae rose slightly. Thank you. The corridor doors opened. Georgia entered, followed by a security officer who took one look at the situation and stopped walking. Behind them came another Scorithlian, smaller than Aurelix, maybe 6 feet, with darker chitin and antennae that were constantly moving. Commander, the smaller Scorithlian said. His mandibles clicked rapidly. The crew reported distress signals. Are you injured? Under attack? No, Aurelix said. His antennae were flat again. Then why did you activate the emergency protocol? There was a spill, Aurelix said. The smaller Scorithlian's antennae went rigid. A spill of cleaning solution. You activated full weapon systems because of cleaning solution? Commander Aurelix's mandibles clicked 3 times. It was spreading toward electrical panels. The security officer had started backing toward the door. Georgia was looking between both Scorithlians with growing confusion. Sir, the smaller Scorithlian said slowly, the crew is asking about the invasion timeline. You have been aboard this station for 47 minutes. No hostages have been taken. No systems have been seized. No demands have been enforced. They want to know when we proceed to Phase 2. There is no Phase 2, Aurelix said quietly. His antennae drooped until they were nearly touching the floor. Sir, these humans do not respond to intimidation. They do not fear annihilation. They discuss maintenance schedules and protein paste flavors. One of them attempted to give me a station tour. His mandibles clicked. They are impossible to conquer because they do not understand they are being conquered. The smaller Scorithlian was silent for a long moment. Then, Sir, the Armada High Command is expecting a status report in 3 hours. Tell them the invasion is postponed. On what grounds? Commander Aurelix looked at me, at the mop bucket, at the hardened gel on the floor. His antennae twitched once. Cultural complications, he said. Georgia brightened. Oh, so you do want the cultural exchange program? I have so many activities planned. We could start with the library, or maybe... No, Aurelix said. His voice had lost all its resonance. No cultural exchange, no station tour, no protein paste. He turned to the smaller Scorithlian. Prepare the ship for departure. We are withdrawing? The smaller one's antennae shot up. Sir, the Armada does not withdraw. We have never withdrawn from an invasion. Our entire strategic doctrine is based on inevitable conquest. Doctrine, Aurelix repeated. His mandibles opened and closed. Yes, doctrine. The doctrine that assumes the enemy responds rationally to superior force. That assumes fear is a universal constant. That assumes he stopped. His antennae vibrated. The doctrine is insufficient for humans. I finished scraping up the last of the gel and dumped it in the waste container. You're leaving then? Commander Aurelix looked at me with those compound eyes. Yes. What about the surrender ultimatum? Georgia asked. Don't we need to file a formal response? No, Aurelix said. No forms, no responses, no further contact. He moved toward the corridor exit, his tail dragging behind him. The smaller Scorithlian followed, antennae still rigid with confusion. At the doorway, Aurelix paused. He turned back, both arms hanging at his sides. Human, he said. Spencer. Yeah. In 40 years of military service, I have never encountered anything like you. Okay, I said. His antennae did one final complicated sequence. Up, flat, twitching, drooping. That is not a compliment. Didn't think it was, I said. He left. Georgia stood there for a moment, tablet in hand, looking disappointed. I really thought we could have had a nice cultural exchange, she said. Maybe next time, I said. She brightened. Do you think there will be a next time? Probably not, I said. Through the corridor's small window, I could see the Scorithlian warship beginning its undocking sequence. This time they did it slowly, carefully, not clipping anything. The docking clamps released smoothly. The ship rotated, aligned with the exit vector, and accelerated away. Within 3 minutes, it was gone. Georgia's tablet chimed. She looked at it and frowned. "Oh, the water reclamation system is backing up again. Can you—" "Yeah," I said, "right after I finish this corridor." She left. I picked up the mop bucket, set it upright, checked the broken wheel. Definitely needed a replacement. I'd have to file a maintenance request, which meant forms, which meant at least 20 minutes of paperwork. I refilled the bucket and started mopping where the gel had been. The corridor was quiet again, just the hum of life support, the flicker of old lights, the squeak of the bucket's remaining good wheels. Somewhere out there, Commander Aurelix was probably writing his own report, explaining to Armada High Command why the invasion had failed. What he'd say about humans, about Station 7, about standing in cleaning solution while his ship nearly fired on a cafeteria. I finished the corridor, checked my watch. Still 2 hours left in my shift, and that water reclamation system wasn't going to fix itself. Just another day.